Mike Shoaf.
What up?
How's it going, brother?
It goes. How about yourself?
It's going pretty good. It's just hot as hell. I know we were talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
My AC staying on like during the day. It stays on like 77.
Bro, what?
Yeah, but
77. Come
but
on.
it's 100 degrees, so it's always on. So
Yeah. Yeah. You're not trying to kill it.
yeah, at night I turn it down to 70 though. So
Oh, okay. That's
yeah,
more acceptable.
yeah. I really appreciate you coming on this podcast, man, and I can relate to you a lot because like you only have one deployment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did too, and there's a lot of combat veterans out there like us that only did one and they were done with it. There's
Hmm.
not a lot of. It's pretty honestly, even though I've had a lot of retirees on and people that made it a long time, it's very uncommon to find somebody that's actually retired.
Right. Right. Especially nowadays, for sure.
Yeah, it was kind of especially nowadays. It's probably a lot more common for people to retire because they definitely love that paycheck
Mm.
when they're done with it. But
Oh, trust me, I'm kicking myself in the butt because I'll be retired next year.
oh yeah, you're already in
Yeah.
your upper 30s already.
Yeah. I'm 37.
Dang man, yeah. I joined at 18 too. I would be retired in 6 more years, dude. So, but there's different callings and stuff like that, man.
Yeah.
I love being out though. I don't know about you.
It it's hit or miss. I mean, there's times like, especially with the contract stuff, I dabbled in that a little bit, and you know, seeing everything that's kicking off. The money's obviously there. My kids are older, so
Yeah.
it kind of draws me back to that lifestyle a little bit every once in a while, for sure.
Yeah, dude. So I got out I guess I would say recently. I got out 5 years ago, and
Okay.
I did 1 year in the guard. So I guess you could say 3 years ago, and
Hmm.
it has changed dramatically because I got in 2012, and
Mm.
dude, I can't tell you how, dude. Like if you were in during that time, you were probably gonna be public enemy number one, dude. So,
Right. Right.
and I'm not trying to shame on anybody or talk about none of that stuff, but it's just like it changed so much, dude. And there's a lot of what's it called, like ribbon people. They're trying to get their
Yeah.
awards. They're trying to stat pad their stuff. But like when you were in and I was in, it was a heat of a war, and it's like
Hmm.
that's really that only mattered, like
Yeah.
when I was doing my deployment, it was kind of more towards like the third quarter of it. So
Hmm.
like there was some stat padding going on and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then people lost the concept of stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, we had some stuff like that in my unit, and I think every unit does, like, especially when it's coming to commission people. Like we
Yeah.
saw people getting like bronze stars for or, just stupid stuff. And meanwhile, one of my buddies who was a sniper, he had to earn a bronze star, and like you compare the awards, right? And they're like talking about what he did, and then they're talking like, Captain so and so for running so many missions got, whatever award, and we're just like, what the fuck? Like, come on,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. They're sitting over there like eating good and doing like a whole lot of nothingness,
Right,
right?
like, come on, man. But
Yeah,
I mean, I guess it goes on all the time. But yeah, it's
yeah.
whatever.
And you joined the army at 18 years old, huh?
Yeah, so actually, I enlisted when I was 17. So I had a contract as soon as I graduated to go, and ended up not graduating on time. So I had to make up some classes right there in the summer. Luckily, I'm from North Carolina, so they appreciate the military pretty good. So they helped me out.
Yeah.
I was not smart in the school ways by any means, but um, I just didn't really have it for high school. Um, but yeah, I enlisted when I was 17. I knew early on that I was going to enlist.
Yeah. Did you know you were gonna join the army?
So actually, yes and no. My whole family has been Army, and like my grandfather served in World War II. My mom was a helicopter mechanic.
Oh, okay.
My uncle was SF since Vietnam, and then my dad was part of CAG on the early times, and So I knew that I wanted Army, and then what actually drove me to enlist as quickly as I could was I had a buddy I used to play paintball with. He joined the Marine Corps. He got blown up and killed in 2004 or 2005, excuse me.
Yeah.
And so that was like, well, everybody's got something similar to that, and that was like my like, yeah, I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna fuck some people up.
Yeah.
And so I actually looked into the Marine Corps for a while, but my goal at the time was I wanted to follow in the footsteps of my uncle and my dad and try to get into the SOCOM community um, as high level as I could. So the Marines just didn't really have it for me. So I ended up going enlisted in the Army.
Yeah. And like kind of get into like, so why do you think you weren't had a knack for school? You just didn't like class or
Yeah, like I mean, I feel like and most people will tell me, and I don't agree all the time, but I have been told I'm somewhat intelligent, but I did not have any drive for the thing, the things that school taught me. And this sounds really moto and stupid, but I had a drive to be a warfighter. That's all I wanted. I did not
yeah.
care about anything else.
Yeah. You're
And
like a basic. No, no, I'm not saying you're basic, but I'm saying that
yeah, basic
you're
bitch.
like
I got you.
you're like a young man, dude. Like, what do we do when we're young? We're playing with those little green soldiers,
Yeah, yeah,
and we're playing with GI Joes. We're freaking acting like we're shooting people.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Totally different from now. Like,
Well, yeah, now you
I'm not
probably
gonna get
can't
into
keep up. Yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah. I
So,
got teenagers. I get
wa-
it.
was your dad around a lot? Because I mean, you said he was
Hmm.
CAG, right? Or no?
No, I actually didn't meet him until I graduated basic training.
Oh wow, dude.
Yeah,
So he was. So your mom and your dad split up.
yeah, yeah. They split up before I was born, and
Okay.
yeah,
So they met when they were in the military, I suppose.
yeah. He was in Germany doing something, and mom was stationed there, and
Yeah.
so they met, and whatever happened happened. They were together for a little while, and then whatever you know happened, he decided he's got like 8 kids by like probably 7 different women. So
Oh wow.
um, yeah, real good guy. Um, but yeah, so I didn't meet him until basic training graduation. I didn't even know he was going to be there. So
Yeah. Did you kind of feel like the driving factor was kind of like, "Hey, Dad, I did this. Like, come on."
mm, I think it was more towards my uncle. My uncle was more. He wasn't there all the time, but like so when I was a kid, he was already into contracting by the time he had already retired and been doing stuff over in the Middle East and Africa for contract stuff. And so like he would be home every year. And I remember it was always at our family reunion. I'd
Yeah.
see his green Ford Bronco at the family reunion. I was like, hell yeah, I know what's going to happen. Like the next 2 weeks is going to be awesome. So like he would take me out to movies, take me to we were big into, or I was big into model cars and stuff. So we'd always build things. He studied engineering when he was in college. And so he was more of my male role model. So than my dad, or than the hopes for my dad.
Yeah. And when you, so you try to get into the army around like 17, you have to have a waiver signed, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Did your mom was cool with it and stuff?
Uh, she knew it was coming. I don't think she was cool with it, but she also knew that there wasn't going to be any like stopping me.
Yeah.
Um,
How did she feel? Because like you're talking about what you joined in what 2006 to late 2005,
yeah, she's late 2005. Yeah,
dude. Like it was on.
yeah. Oh yeah,
The
yeah.
GWAT was on during that time, dude.
Mhm.
And
She
and we're in a weird time too because like the internet wasn't as prevalent, so kind of
right.
most people's like idea of like what the GWAT was freaking Black Hawk Down, and
Yeah, yeah.
it wasn't even like prevalent to what was going on.
Right, right, right. Like that
So
has nothing to do. Yeah,
yeah, but like it's like I guess you could say because it's in Africa and stuff, but like
yeah. It was
uh
desert, right?
yeah. So how did she feel? Did she tell you anything about it or what? Just
Um,
besides the fact she knew it was coming.
she she didn't like it, and she tried to hold off for a little bit. But you know, I sat down with her and I was like, Mom, look, this is who I am. This is what I'm gonna do. You know,
Yeah.
at the time I was thinking career. You know, I'm going for CAD. Like I'm doing as much as I can. And you know, she saw that, and then me and my buddy, we got a Ranger contract together. That was when they were. I don't know if they still do that or not, but we had the buddy program or whatever, and
Yeah.
then Ranger or RIP at the time RIP, right out of AIT. So I was like, look, I've got this. This is a good sign bonus. Like it's going to give me, if I can get through Ranger school, like it's going to put me close to where I want to be anyway, and put me, you know, because you're more safe with more training. I mean, yeah, they have more dangerous stuff, but you get you're better equipped and better trained. And
Yeah.
so she kind of came around to it after that, and she just kind
Yeah.
of or gave up one. I don't know.
And you knew like you were gonna be infantry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
Like
so,
there was nothing else on the
nah.
table.
They so I actually I don't remember my line scores and all that crap, but I remember that I scored high enough for them to start offering me other jobs. And you know, if you don't score well, they're going to be like, oh, well, here's like whatever the thing is where you're just doing paperwork, or here's infantry, you know, ooh, guns and stuff. To me,
Yeah.
they were like, you can be like veterinary food inspector. You could do like this stuff with um, uh, or like the chemical storage stuff, like all this other
Yeah.
random stuff. And I was like, dude, I want to be infantry. And my recruiter, I'll never forget him because he looks like the dude off of How I Met Your Mother, the main character. And
Oh, Ted.
yeah, he looks like it
Yeah.
looks like exactly like Ted. And I was like, dude, look, man, like I appreciate it, but like I'm not trying to do that. Like I know where I want to be and where I want to start.
Yeah.
And it's not because I want to go kill people or anything like that. It was just that was to me the important job at the time.
So so you're saying like infantry was the important job?
Yeah, to me, like that
Oh,
was yeah,
okay, yeah. Because I mean, like, I mean, you did mention like your friend got kind of blown up, or
yeah,
he was killed in action, and it's like, I mean, I could see how that's a driving factor too, though. You know, you kind of want to hold some people accountable.
yeah. And like my main thing the entire time I was over there is just if I can keep one person from getting killed, like if it has to
Yeah,
be me, it has to be me. But if I can keep one other person from getting killed, that's cool with me. Like
yeah,
that's me doing my thing.
yeah. How was basic training like for you? Were you an athletic kid growing up or no?
So no, I wasn't athletic at all, and that was why it was so funny that I wanted to go where I wanted to go. And like I had been playing paintball for the few years prior to that tournament level, and my actual other option was I was going to go to one of the pro teams out
That's
here.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so like I loved it, and it did get me more athletic because I was a fat kid when I was little,
Same,
and then
bro.
when I remember from middle school to high school, like that time frame, I got tired of it, dude. Like I got tired of people making fun of me and shit. Like I have friends and I can be friends with anybody, but you always have those people that are gonna make fun of you because you're fat or whatever.
Yeah,
So I just busted my ass and I was working out. I was eating salad, like I was doing everything to get. And then I got to high school and then you know everything started to change and like people were not fucking with me and like you know I could see the benefit of being in shape. I still wasn't a track star or anything like that, but um, you know I lifted weights a lot and I got into weightlifting at school, made friends with all the football players, and like just took off from there.
yeah, that's good, man. Like, I think you need to be surrounded. Well, me too. I was a fat kid growing up, and like being surrounded by a good group of guys that'll push
Yeah,
you, but not also they, you know, not put you down, but they kind of like talk shit to
yeah,
you
like give you
too.
some motivation. Yeah, like all right,
Yeah,
man, you looking a little chunky. Like it's time to start doing this or that.
yeah. Like even today, like dude, I got out of the army. I gained like I probably gained what 35, 40 pounds, dude.
Same, dude.
And I just recently, probably in February, I decided to take my life back and I lost 30 pounds. I was like, dude,
Hell
no,
yeah.
I can't. I was like, dude, I was struggling though, bro. Like I couldn't sleep. Like it was, my heart was always racing. I'm like, damn,
Yeah, yeah.
sucks, bro.
Like, bro, what the fuck?
Plus,
I
father time is unforgiving too, man. I hit
yes.
30, so it was kind of rough.
Oh yeah, trust me, it only gets worse.
uh,
Yeah, yeah.
where did so how was Fort Benning or what do they
Uh,
call it now?
yeah,
I
I
don't know
don't
what
know
they
what it's
call it
now.
now, but
I didn't even pay attention to learn those names, bro. I'm not calling it that. Like whatever. um, no,
so
it was
how's follow me, dude? Follow me.
it was it was an interesting time because at that time the army was playing around with different styles of basic training,
Yeah,
and um, from what I was told, like they have like high speed low drag and high speed high drag. Like they were trying all kinds of combinations of how hard they were on you versus how hard you were training. So I was lucky enough to get into a battalion or a company that was like we're gonna smoke the shit out of you constantly, and we're gonna make you do all your training. Like you
yeah,
don't get a break kind of deal.
that's
And I
good.
know everybody has that kind of experience with basic, but like it wasn't to the point where you couldn't do it. But we had a lot of Ranger contract people, which I ended up not getting my Ranger contract, but we had a lot of Ranger contract people. Um, some other guys that were uh, coming in from other branches, like we had some Marines in there, and so they wanted it to be as shitty as they possibly could, and they did.
Yeah,
So like it wasn't bad. I didn't enjoy it in the moment, but you know how after you have like a really hard workout and you're starting to rebuild, you just feel better, you know.
yeah,
And that's how I felt about it. Is yeah, it sucked, but I felt better in the end of it.
yeah. I think that's important too, man. It's not again, people's perceived notion out there is like basic training, boot camp, whatever the hell you want to call it, is like Full Metal Jacket, dude. And it's
Yeah,
like it's nothing. It's like I'm not saying I don't know anything about the Marines, but all the Marines I've had on so far, none of them said they got physically assaulted. So
right, right, right.
it's like they're dude. It's they're trying to get people in. They're not trying to kick people out, dude. Like
Yeah,
yeah, they
yeah,
make it hard, but that you also have they're pushing you probably harder than most people have ever been pushed before.
yeah, yeah. And I think that's a disconnect between the public and the military. Like, yeah, the public knows it's hard, but they
Yeah,
don't really understand. Like, uh, aside from schools like Ranger School and some of those other ones, but like even basic and AIT is designed to push you as close to the limits as you can be, and learn that you can do it. That's the whole goal of any training course, is to know to for you to know that you can get through it.
yeah, for sure. I mean, they don't. If you're failing at basic training, you're not gonna make it. Like
No, no.
period. And we're talking. To me personally, I thought basic training was fairly easy. I thought football in high
Mm.
school was way harder. And dude, if you can't make it, you're just not gonna make it. I don't know what else to say. Like, dude,
Well,
and
and if you can't make it, like you shouldn't make it. Like you shouldn't be
yeah,
anywhere near any kind of team setting like that.
yeah, because I'm even looking at nowadays, like, dude. I mean, the general public doesn't know too, probably that like not everybody is gonna go fight on the line,
Yeah,
and like dude, you got probably HR and like supply out there, and they're saying like their field problem is hard and all that other stuff.
right.
It's like, dude, it's a guy. Just calm down, bro. It's not that.
Yeah, yeah,
It's it may be hard for you, that person. I'm not taking it
right.
away from them because of their challenge, but like let's stop trying to lie to the public here. All right.
Yeah, the design training exercise is not as hard as you're making it out to be.
Yeah.
If you're struggling, it's because you're just gonna struggle.
Yeah. Did you feel like you were kind of elevating in basic training? Like you're like, dude, I definitely want this. I want to be a Green Beret or I want to be a Ranger.
Uh, the hopes of CAG and everything kind of went down as because I am not a runner.
Yeah.
Um, I have hated running. I will do any other PT event and I will be fine. But running, oh my God, dude. And then it didn't help because like it was literally all but I think the final PT test. Every morning at 3:55, the fire alarm would be set off in our building, in our company or our barracks. So we would be out there from 3:55 until time to do PT or
Yeah.
time to take the PT test. Like, and that was after going to bed. They would say lights out at like 8 or 9 or whatever the time was. then the drill sergeant would come in there and just be loud as shit, and find something wrong with the barracks room or whatever.
Yeah.
And so we didn't get to sleep till like 11, 12, and then get up at 3:55 and
Yeah.
then go do our
Miserable.
PT test. Yeah, and it's like that. So that kind of sucked, but as far as that kind of gave me a bad taste for. All right, if we're gonna play little fuck games, like I get it's basic training, but damn, dude, like I like to if you're gonna give me a test that you're gonna rely on for my scores to place me wherever you're gonna place me, at least let me get some sleep. So it did elevate once I started getting into battle drills, and especially when we did like mount and stuff, and we started doing room clearing,
Would
and
you call it
started doing
mount?
mount, and they used to call it mount, military operations and urban terrain,
Oh,
and that was right around the time where they really started implementing that stuff into basic training, because every other war has been open space. It hadn't really been in urban, and they kind of dropped the ball on the urban training for regular army early on in GWAT. So,
yeah.
um,
That's
but I picked up on it and I loved it. So,
Yeah, that's cool, man. I've never even heard of that until you literally
mm.
just told me. And I've had plenty of people on that have been in during the time. You probably even know some of these guys, or you probably even went to basic training with some of them. And I'm like, dude, nobody's ever told me they were doing this whatever it's called mount.
Yeah.
And that's interesting to hear, man. Because like obviously I went to basic training like 2012, so it's totally
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah,
They
it was
probably renamed it 500 times, or just didn't even bother to name it anymore. There's like, yeah, this is part of basic.
yeah. So yeah, so basically an AIT, and what did you learned obviously at the like probably like towards the end, like you went to Hawaii, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So how are you feeling? Like you're like, oh shit, I'm gonna go to a badass island, dude. I mean, I always wanted to go to Hawaii, but I didn't get to go. So
So what's really fucked up is, they give you a list that you can make of, places you want to go, and
yeah,
9 times out of 10 you're not getting what you asked for. So
facts.
I actually asked for Campbell first, and then Bragg, and
Everybody
then
does.
Schofield, and
Yeah,
because my mom was at 101st, and like that was just always a unit that, because I didn't really care about airborne, but I was born at Bragg, so like, yeah, I'll go there. And then obviously, you got a lot of SOCOM stuff there. Um, and then, but yeah, so I had put Campbell, Bragg, and then Schofield Barracks, and they ended up giving me my third choice if they gave it to me. Um, and yeah, I mean, I was feeling cool about it because I was like, well, nothing else, man. It's
yeah,
Hawaii. Like, I got a free place to live. So,
yeah. You're a single dude too at this time, right?
oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
so yeah, obviously, dude, freaking going on a tropical island as a single soldier is pretty sweet.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, it's a
um,
hub for a lot of vacation spots too. So I was like, hell
yeah.
yeah.
Did you did you hear anything about the 25th ID?
Um, I'd heard mixed things. I had heard that they were kind of looked upon as not that great,
Yeah,
but I had heard about other units that inside of it that were actually pretty notorious. Um, and it so happens when I got there, um, I got assigned to one of those units, and I was pretty stoked about that until I got to first day at your unit, everybody's gonna fuck with you, so
yeah.
but I had heard kind of like they were just not really cared about,
So the like the whole division, right? That's what you're
yeah,
referring.
yeah,
But the battalion you went to was a pretty high speed battalion.
yeah. And I could tell that was probably the case when I got there, and I started realizing all the other units talk shit about one unit. And when I got to my unit, I saw how they operated, and how just in daily things, like just how they handled things. And then I'd look at uniforms, like, we're in garrison, so we're wearing ACUs, beret, and like I'd look at the other units, and they look like ass. And so I'm like, okay, well, either A, this unit does suck, or B, they're very jealous about everything that we do. And it
Yeah.
turned out it was, in my opinion, it was the latter. So,
Yeah. Did they deploy anytime before you got there or no?
um, yeah, they had just come back from, I say just, but they had been back for probably about a year. Um, they had just come back from Afghanistan.
Damn. So
So,
they're wrapping up for part
yeah,
two.
yeah,
The electric strawberry is getting ready for number two.
yeah, man. It was, and then our sister brigade, third brigade, was actually out. They had gone out to Afghanistan
Yeah.
when I got there.
Yeah. How like when you get there, are they telling you guys, "Hey, we're going back to the Middle East"? Like, did you know you were going or no?
So I had heard that we were getting ready for a deployment um,
Yeah.
to Iraq, and that's where I wanted to go. I didn't really want to go to Afghanistan anyway.
Why not?
Um, so I actually got really into the room clearing and stuff, and the more I reflected on it, because I mean I didn't have any access to research anything, but um, the more I reflected on it, like that was just kind of where I felt at peace. Was like, yeah, I like doing the battle drills and open terrain and all that crap. Yeah, it's fun, whatever. But the more I thought about it, I'm like, I don't want to hike through the mountains with all this shit and then take
Yeah.
contact. And then those guys had a very different experience than I did. And I like the idea of rolling through a city doing hood rat shit.
Yeah.
That was what I wanted to do.
Yeah. So you end up figuring out you're going where?
We were going to Taji, or well, that's where we were going to be based out of, was Taji, Iraq.
Okay, cool, cool. And this is around. Oh, so how's the tempo of the unit like?
So
What are y'all doing? Because you're already like you're kind of already at the end of the surge, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I I got to Hawaii in January '07, and the '07 was a pretty bloody year for in Iraq. But at that
Yeah.
point, we didn't know that. Like it was calming down, and then it came later. So the tempo was, though, we're going to train for um, the worst case scenario, and so we had just started fielding strikers. And that was another thing, that a big change that had happened, that now everybody's got to transfer over to. Um, so we're fielding those, getting ready for a deployment all in the same year. And that was a big learning curve for everybody, because they were used to Humvees and being light, because at the time we were still considered light. And
The Bradleys.
yeah. And then, so like all that shit was gone. And then we see these eight-wheeled monsters, which were awesome. Don't get me wrong, but you've got to learn how to maintenance them. You got to learn how to drive them. You got to learn how to do everything with them.
Yeah.
And so we start driving courses and stuff for them, learning how to maneuver them through city streets. All at the same time, the Hawaiians are throwing up a fit because we're tearing up roads or whatever they want to complain about. And so it was a lot going on in that year that I didn't realize until later, like how much it actually would affect a unit's combat readiness.
Like, are you saying effect as like in a bad way or a good way? Because it sounds
It
like they're doing so much at once, so it could
Yeah,
be in a bad way, you know?
yeah. Like, I mean, you're taking guys that know, put a ruck on and walk to wherever I've got to go,
Yeah.
or be in a pretty quick, nimble vehicle. And now you're throwing me in this huge 20-ton target, when IED, like the EFPs were coming back,
Yeah.
roadside, um, Russian parachute grenades were coming back. Like, it was all kinds of stuff. So I think I'm not gonna say it was negative, because I mean we did very well with them, but and they're a force multiplier 100%.
Yeah.
But learning how to do all that while you're still, like, you've been training for the last year or whatever, and in a certain way, and now that's just out the window, because
Yeah.
now we got all this stuff.
Yeah, I relate to you about this because like my unit I was with 136 infantry out of 11 AD and it's armor division, right? So
Hmm.
tanks. But the infantry battalion I was in, they just transferred over my deployment. Like that was like the first time they were doing strikers on a deployment, and
Yeah,
we didn't get to go through like roads, right?
yeah,
I was in the middle of Afghanistan, so like the desert and shit, and a lot of guys were very upset about the strikers because of Afghanistan. Like I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
they were an effective tool in Iraq. I've been told,
yeah, yeah.
and
Oh yeah,
just in Afghanistan didn't make sense, dude. Like but they were a force multiplier because when we needed the 50s or the
yeah,
whatever, like they came in handy.
yeah. Oh
Uh,
yeah. And they're fast for what as
yeah,
big as they are fucking fast.
and they're quiet too.
Yeah, we got in trouble one time for going too fast.
um, so how long are you like with this unit? Like until like what month are you deploying? Like December or November?
We go in December, um, is when we deployed. We actually got to Baghdad on Christmas night, 2007.
Dang, sucks ass, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and I mean that was its own thing because that was when they were fielding the new Chinooks, and they were, they were supposed to be stealthier and all this cool stuff, and our like it was probably two chalks before us. They come back and they're smoking from the top of the rotors, and they got holes in the side of them, and we're like, what the fuck? Like, it's supposed to be the best new thing.
yeah,
And they're like, yeah, we've been taking 50 fire, Dishka fire and stuff like this. And we're just like, bro, it's Christmas night. We don't have ammo. Like, we have nothing. We're getting
yeah,
ready to go rip into the base that we're going to.
yeah,
And so that was my first, experience in country, was like, oh shit, I might not even make it to, Taji. So that's pretty
yeah.
dope.
Well, what part of Iraq is Tajian? Like
It's like
right,
right above Baghdad. So you got like
like,
Taji, and then you got Sadr City, or excuse me, Husseiniya, Sadr, Baghdad.
yeah. And then so '07 was a pretty rough year for Iraq.
Yeah, but I mean, we caught the tail end of that one, because like I said, Christmas night, so we didn't get any of the '07 stuff other than that night,
Yeah,
everything that was going on. But
yeah,
um, I forget who we ripped out. I think it was Second Cav, and they hadn't had too much issue where they were at, but they stayed on Taji and ran everything out of Taji.
yeah.
So
So how, you guys are convoying with the strikers to Taji from Baghdad, right?
no, so we flew in um, via Chinook to Taji, and then the vehicles were already there because they had already preloaded them, because they had to go to Texas to General Dynamics, because that's when they had the RPG cages start coming out for them, and
Yeah,
the little panels on the bottom for the EFPs, the gel panels.
yeah,
So it went from 20 tons to freaking God knows how much.
yeah.
But
How did you guys fly at night or whatever?
yeah, yeah.
How did you feel? Like,
I was stoked, other than, these Chinooks have been coming back with bullet holes in them. I'm like, well, fuck. Like, like, all right. I
yeah,
ain't even got a weapon. So, like, I'm sitting there going through worst case scenario. Like, what am I going to do if we go down, if I'm not injured? What am I going to grab? I've got my weapon, but
yeah,
I don't have magazines. And, it's just like, that was kind of dumb. I don't know why we didn't get a combat loadout
yeah.
beforehand, but
It's kind of crazy, right? Like you're what, 19 or 20?
no, I was still 18 then.
Yeah, like it's kind of crazy though. Like my one of my platoon sergeant that I deployed with, he said it on the podcast. He's like, "What?" I was 19. He's like, "What 19-year-old gets to do that?" It's like you too. Like, what 18-year-old gets to do that? Like,
Yeah,
my friends are over here partying in college, and I'm over here
right. I'm
taking
like,
bullets for this country, and it's a totally different situation, dude. Like, and
yeah.
it's kind of surreal too, because like, yeah, like you're infantry, right? You want to do this kind
Mhm.
of stuff, but at the same time, you're not signing up to die in a helicopter.
Yeah, exactly. Just because I sign up, that knowing that I could die, doesn't mean I'm
Yeah.
trying to eat it, like,
You know what's crazy? The more I do these podcasts and stuff like that, it's literally I am one, so I'm gonna say it, it's like the pogues that are like, dude, I want to fucking die in combat. Like, and I'm
you're a
like,
medic, right?
yeah, I was a medic. Yeah,
You're
I
not a
was.
fucking thug. All right, continue.
Yeah, I had a lot of my medic friends are like, yeah, man, I want to go do that stuff, and I'm like, dude, I didn't want to do any of that stuff. I was like, I want to go to the hospital. I want to chill, dude.
Yeah.
My freaking heart dropped when I found out I was going to the infantry. I was like, oh
Oh
my
shit.
god, dude. I was like, dude, Man, sucks, dude.
Yeah.
So,
You're
but
like,
I
that was
wouldn't
not
trade.
what I expected.
Yeah, I wouldn't trade it for the world though, man. And I don't think you would either. But
Nah.
I remember riding the Chinook too. That's why I'm like, man, I remember like the way you're describing the Chinook. You're like,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, ah, man, it's freaking. What's up, everyone? I just want to hop on here real quick and give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Fleming's Cleaning. Go ahead and use code word GWAT13 for 10% off your next residential or commercial cleaning. Also, if you haven't done so already, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so, go ahead and hit Spotify up and follow there if you like to listen to podcasts on the road. Also, go ahead and follow our major socials on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at the GWAT Goons. Share this content, please. And with that, let's get back into the episode. It's intense, dude.
Yeah, it's like this is real now. Like I knew that this was going to happen, but this shit's real now.
Yeah,
Like I don't know. It was very surreal. And then you get back, or you get so like we got to the base and we're just downloading all our shit, and we're just sitting there like, all right,
yeah,
now what? Well, we're
yeah.
not doing anything tonight. Like, well, shit. What the hell? Like, you know,
Yeah, they're like, find somewhere to sleep.
right? Like, what? What? Sleep?
Yeah.
You think I'm gonna sleep right now?
So are you guys going to like a company area?
So we had a designated area in Taji that was so we got kind of different things because I was a mortar, and at the time they were saying mortars could not be operating in Iraq. I don't know what was going on, that whatever that.
Congressional bullshit.
Yeah.
You're like, no.
So we got tasked with personal security for psyops, battalion and brigade level people. The SMADs and the BC, we would take them out every once in a while. But so we kind of got our own little area for our platoon away from our company. And it was, those freaking trailers that have 3 rooms built into them and all that crap. And like, I was like, oh, this is nice. Yeah, yeah. Well, we didn't stay there very long. So we didn't operate out of Taji. I come to find out we weren't going to be operating out of Taji. So
Mm.
we
Wow.
actually had to go to a little JSS outside of Taji.
But what
Yeah,
is JSS?
Joint Service Station, I think. I'm not sure. But it's a fob. It's just a
Yeah,
small fob.
yeah,
And so we got told that, we're just like, well, it was nice here for 10 minutes while we were here, like,
yeah. What is what is it like? Let's talk about so Taji, your so it's a base, right, or
mm,
whatever, and then
yeah,
like compared to fob, what is it called?
it was a JSS Istakal.
Istiqlal.
Hmm.
So let's talk about size difference. Like, what are you coming from compared to what you're going to?
So Taji was fairly large, and I want to say it was, I don't know, like it was a
Like
size.
4 football fields?
It was probably bigger than that. Like it was a
Oh
main
damn!
base. Yeah, so like Balad or um, whatever the one down in Baghdad was at the time. I know they changed the name 500 times. But it was something like that. Like it was huge. It had an air base there for um, I forget what. I think it was our air unit out of
Yeah,
Hawaii. So I mean, they had everything there. It was
yeah.
big, and then Istakal was maybe 2 football fields, in size, both square. So
Oh wow! So that's a pretty big size difference. And you know what? The thing that was so it's a platoon size fob.
no, it was well, it might have been made for that, but we had most of our company there, and
Yeah,
plus Iraqi police and IA there too.
yeah. So like, I want to kind of tell people that are listening that like the base size matters because also it matters in assets that are there at the base too. So like usually when there's a lot of officer level leadership, not captain level, but like you're talking about lieutenant colonel, shit, colonel above, whatever. They're not going out. They're not doing anything unless there's a lot of. We used to just say ass. There's a lot of ass in
Yeah,
the air. There's a lot of ass outside.
yeah,
Like, and so going from somewhere like that where you're like, oh, I'm gonna be straight chilling to like something a little bit
hmm,
smaller, a company size fob, it's a big difference.
yeah. Yeah, I mean,
You're not getting good chow either, you know.
no, you're getting sandwiches. Sandwiches are the good chow. Like if they
Yeah.
get sandwich meat and bread and shit,
Yeah.
and that was like our oh crap, we actually got food, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and then you got like 6 porta shitters for probably 300 dudes, and that was terrible in and of itself. So 'cause they only emptied them bitches out like probably every week and a half, you know.
Yeah. Dude,
It's
yeah.
terrible.
That's funny though, man. Like, what is y'all's mission set over there? Like, what are you guys doing?
So it was almost like they didn't know what to do with us, because so
Just the
we
company
even
or the platoon?
the platoon. Um,
Okay.
so like we attached to our recon platoon pretty hard. So they do a lot of HVT stuff. So we would jump in with them for outer cordon or whatever, if they had just a large area that they need to do, we'd help them with that.
Yeah.
Um, and then, but our primary focus was just PSD stuff. We
For
take,
for the company commander or what?
no, so actually, well, our company commander was with us all the time, but it wasn't for him. Like he actually ended up being like our platoon daddy,
Yeah.
um, which was cool because he's awesome, awesome leadership. But he so we ended up running like the psyops people out for the hearts and minds crap. We would run mission or we'd run um, I don't know, battalion level people out to the sheikhs houses to pay them, because they got paid off more than anybody. So we go sit at the sheikh's house and hang out for a little bit. We'd pick up assets for other agencies and branches. Um, that we picked up agency assets before just to give them a ride to wherever. Um, so I mean, it was cool. Like I liked the
Yeah.
PSD thing, but it's just it wasn't what I thought I was going to be either.
What this? How long is your deployment?
15 months.
Oh my god, dude. Anything
Yeah,
over 12 is like, dude, sucks.
yeah,
um. So like, I mean, the PSD. I mean, it always sounds like it's really fun, but it's like not fun, but like
yeah,
you get to do cooler stuff, right? But like
yeah.
that's not really what you're.
No, no, no. Like it
You
was. So I got told in basic because you don't choose 11 Charlie. I got told in basic that I was going to be 11 Charlie, and usually they take the people with a little bit higher ASVAB scores for 11 Charlie. And it's not saying anything as 11 Bravos because they're super smart dudes in 11 Bravos, but the mechanical knowledge and the way you test on things like that, they want you to have for mortars because it is a little bit more technical than just being out there doing maneuvers. So I got kind of disheartened by that because I'd always heard that 11 Charlies, lazy, 11 cookie eaters, whatever. And
redheaded stepchild, you know.
yeah, like, dude, like, I was like, man, I'm not even considered infantry at this point, but with, you know, it turned out not to be the case, but at
Yeah,
the time, it was like, fuck, dude. And then we went on our first battalion ruck march. And then I realized, like, we can talk some shit, like the recon platoon who's supposed to be all pre-ranger candidates and shit like this, we're smoking them on the ruck marches and everything. And I
yeah,
mean absolutely dogging everybody. So I was like, all right, cool. I got a little bragging rights or whatever. So when we got to Iraq or before Iraq, because they told us before when we went to NTC that we weren't going to be doing mortars. And so we got told early on. So I was like, well, shit, man, like, I'm a babysitter. And then once we got over there, we started networking with the contractors and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, so this could actually help me later on in life, like if I wanted to go do contracted things. So it was a mixed bag of like, yeah, you're not really doing a lot of cool shit, but
yeah,
when you're not doing the PSD thing, we're getting tasked to go hang out with, uh, you know, oh God Almighty, like hang out with JTF. Like we're hanging out with SOCOM dudes, and which is where I wanted to be. We're helping do outer cordons for them. Like we're taking them places that they need to get to. Like that to me was cool as shit.
yeah.
So
Like, So what contractors are you like referring to? Just so
So at the
people
time,
that are, you
oh
know,
yeah, so like the anybody on the WIPS contract, Worldwide Protected Services, doing PSD. I mean, that's all they did was do PSD for State Department and celebrities, and So I was like, man, that's pretty kick ass. Like I could ride
yeah,
in an excursion, in civilian clothes and babysit people for 100 at the time, like 140,000 a year.
shit, yeah, I know. It's we're talking. So people that are listening that don't know, it's kind of like the 13 Hours movie.
Yeah.
That's the two different entities, but I'm just saying it's kind of like that. Did so like how did you? So did you guys get to do anything other than just like PSDs or anything like that?
So like there was a few. I mean, so they gave us also because we had a lot of missions on the islands on the rivers because there was apparently weapon caches there. So we got like an impromptu air assault school while we were there. It didn't have sling loading. We weren't fast roping, but we were infilling and exfilling out of helicopters. So we got tasked to do that, which was cool because it was like a pretty large scale as far as resources mission set to go hit these islands along the river on the way to Baghdad because they were allegedly keeping weapon caches all along there. So I mean, we got to do stuff like that, and then, like I said, we got to operate within some of the joint task forces that were there. Um, and now we weren't doing anything super cool, but just being around those guys and listening to how things operate and watching what happens as
Yeah,
they roll up and do stuff, and then being part of uh, whatever element that you can be, and then go in afterwards to see things how it went. That was neat. That's an experience that, even though I wasn't doing all that stuff,
yeah,
uh, it was cool to see, and that just kind of
yeah,
made me drive harder towards that thought process, I guess.
yeah. And obviously, like you were there for 15 months, and you got to do your 2 weeks R&R.
Yeah, yeah.
How's that? How's that?
Dude,
You're a
I don't even.
lower ranking person, so you kind of got to go early.
Yeah, like no, I ended up going late as shit. Like everybody got to go before me, and other than like a couple, and I came home and like I don't remember a lot of it, but I remember I flew home and we came in through Atlanta and then up to I think Greensboro is where I ended up at.
Yeah,
And I like got together with my friends from high school and like we threw parties and stuff. And
yeah,
it was just, I don't know, it was mediocre at best, but it was a lot of partying. Um,
yeah,
and then I had found out, my mom, because I did have a stepdad, that they had gotten divorced. And I found out that she had had breast cancer while I was gone. She didn't tell me, and so it was kind of a like fuck, I don't want to deal with this right now. Like I want to, and not in a way like I don't care about my mom or anything. It's just, damn, it's a lot.
yeah. It's kind of a hard situation because you're in Iraq, and then you come back for 2 weeks just to get a little taste of like what it's like,
Hmm.
and then you honestly though you kind of miss your friends too, like that are over there,
Oh yeah, yeah,
right? Because
like
you're like, I don't want nothing to happen to them while I'm over here chilling doing nothing, you know?
yeah, like I'm sitting there thinking like, damn, they're probably on mission right now. Like, and during that time frame, we were running 3 to 4 a day, and then sometimes days on end if we were tasked with some of the weapons cache stuff. But so yeah, that I mean that thought was there, and I was kind of like, I don't want to be here doing this, like it's
Yeah,
fun, sure, but it's not my kind of fun. I want to be back with my boys, and I don't know. It's weird to describe to people because they're not going to understand that kind of
yeah.
aspect of it.
Yeah, I didn't get to do R&R, but I mean, I the closest thing I got to not being with my boys is like I was doing my platoon down in Afghanistan. We were like the spearhead, I guess you can say. And
Hmm.
dude, I was going on mission after mission, like every freaking day, dude. And like like we had a small platoon. I think there was probably like 27 of us. They didn't deploy everybody. The war was kind of wrapping
But
up. Like the hardcore part of the war was kind of
yeah,
wrapping up.
yeah,
And dude, like they're like this my senior line medic was like, "Hey man, you can switch out with this medic," and I'm like, I was like, nah, I can't do it, dude. I thought about it at first. I was like, dude, because I'm exhausted, dude. I like
Yeah.
freaking like sleep deprived, and I'm like sleeping in the back of the striker, and I'm just like, nah, I
Which
can't do
is
it, man.
super comfy for anybody watching, by the way.
Dude, the little hole, like the bed
Yeah.
thing, that's the best spot, or the
Yeah.
driver's seat. You know, other
Yeah.
than that, there's nowhere.
On
At least it,
top.
at least yeah, at least that heater and the AC, you know, because
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
did help a lot. Um, so how are you feeling like at the end of the deployment? Like you're like, hey, I like this shit. I want to continue to do it, or like, this Iraq wasn't what because like unique situation here, man. Like you kind of like got to the tail end of the Iraq thing,
Mm,
you know, and it's like, and I want to highlight this because there's people out there that talk a lot of shit and they act like they were Desmond Doss in World War II. You know what I mean?
right, right.
It's like, dude, no, like it's not like that all the time. You
Yeah.
know. So how are you feeling as an infantry mortarman like at this time when you're getting wrapped up to leave back to the States?
It was hard for me to let go of the military because I was leaning more towards getting out because, and not to get political, but that was the first, our deployment was like the first year of Obama.
Right.
And I saw how easily something like that could influence and create bad decision making,
Yeah.
with a lot of the ROE stuff and a lot of the policies that came out. It was kind of dumb. And so, like, I don't know, I was wanting to stay in, and then at the same time, like, I realized I was not physically or mentally prepared to go to like the Q course or go to Ranger school or anything like that. Like, I knew, I 100% would admit I was not ready for that.
Yeah.
And they started sending emails out that about Q course prep, and like, so that was happening like right as we're getting ready to go back. And I'm like, well, maybe I could get to where I need to be and go to the Q course and try to go down the pipeline and at least get in group, maybe not CAG or anything, but it's group, so you still get to do cool stuff. Um, and then I would reflect back on everything that happened, and I'm like, yeah, this lifestyle is cool, but I am the last one um, in my family tree, So I'm like, I don't even have kids. Like, if I eat it, I'm it. And
Yeah.
that kind of didn't sit well with me. So I'm like, I was torn because, yeah, I could have probably found somebody, while I was in, and just live that lifestyle, but that lifestyle is not for everybody. So, you know, there,
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't want to take a chance on that, and I ended up saying, I'm gonna get out and look at the contracting thing. I'd made some good contacts with them, and I was like, maybe I'll try that, and then if I need to, I'll reenlist. Fuck it. But
Yeah.
I need to at least have a son, so my family name keeps going on. But and then 2 weeks before we left, we had we were doing some simple like water treatment facility inspection or something. Like, we were just taking somebody out there for that, and we were coming back, and we were right past Husania, and my vehicle got hit. And I hear I was driver at the time, and I hear my VC go, oh fuck, over the intercom. And so we're checking. There's a little bit of dust. It wasn't huge or anything. And I'm like, you good? And he's like, yeah, I just caught some stuff in the eye. And another reason I only wear Oakleys, he had Oakleys on, so it saved his eye. But we're sitting there, and I'm like, okay, we've been hit before. Like, it's not anything new, but this is 2 weeks out from getting out of here. And so my company commander, who was also, like, adopted platoon daddy, he's getting that down. We're trying to recover the vehicle. He goes to the IP checkpoint that's like 100 meters back behind us, and is talking with them like, hey, what the fuck? Did you guys see anybody there last night? Because we've been down here the last few days, like nothing's been out of place. And they were like, oh yeah, well, we saw some people there at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and this is through the turf and everything. We saw some people there at 2 o'clock in the morning with some shovels and things, and um, we they were there for about an hour and a half, and he was like, "You didn't think to fucking tell anybody?" Like, and he's like, "Well, it was." They were like, "Well, we didn't think anything of it until we heard that they're plan or that somebody was planning to hit a convoy and then open up from Husania, which was literally right across the street." And he was like, "That's information that we need to fucking know." So the whole goal was to disable a vehicle during the recovery process, them ambush us, and so as soon as he found that out, before we started getting the tow bars out to get the vehicle going and all that, he's calling for Kaz. Like he's like, "I just need a show of force, low and fast, as quickly as possible. And if we can get Longbow out here, which was our Apache element, to do an escort." So they sent fixed wing and maybe 150 feet off the deck, right over the city. Didn't give a fuck. And he's like, "I'm not doing this shit. Like, we're not. This is not where we eat it. And then the Apaches came, and they're like flying right over the rooftops and everything, just daring somebody to come out while we recovered the vehicle, and then they escorted us all the way back to Husania. No,
Damn,
or
dude.
Istiqlal, I'm sorry.
That shitty freaking story because like it's been real. I'm not gonna say chill, but it's been
Yeah,
relatively calm, and then all of a sudden you're like, damn, I'm gonna freaking die right here.
yeah. I mean, that one, like I said, we've been hit several times before that, and that one was, I could tell, like, that force, that especially in a striker, like concussive force. That's one thing that still trips me out when air pressure changes in a building or in a car. That's what triggers my shit. Like, because the first time we ever got hit, we were only there for, I think, maybe a month, and we were running a PSD for some school thing, some school official with Iraq, and they were trying to open up a school in Baghdad, and the route was deemed secret. Like the dude didn't know the route, and part of that route involved a road down in Baghdad. Once you get past the gates over there on the east or west side, um, you go. There was a road that could fit our strikers that we could get to the school, and nobody ever uses it. Like no military uses it.
Yeah,
So we're going down there, and we get right probably 200 meters from the gate, and I feel it before I heard it. I just feel that concussion come up to the driver's area because I was driving then too, um, and just tickle my neck. And then I hear it, and vehicle two's hit, vehicle two's hit, vehicle two's hit, and we're just like fuck. So we're getting our positioning and everything. They had put an EFP, a small one, um, and the copper disc had actually gone through the engine
yeah,
and stopped at the driver's hatch. So
yeah,
the angle was for a Humvee, you could tell, and it wasn't for a striker. And it just skimmed through the engine and then hit his hatch. And nobody was hurt or anything like that. So we're doing our recovery because that vehicle's fucked. Like we're gonna have to tow it. So we're sitting there, and probably about 10 minutes later, we see
mhm,
this huge cloud of dust and dirt come up, and we hear the explosion. And we're like, we're getting, my CO's on the radio, like, "What's going on? Can we get a sit rep in that area?" Blah blah blah. So they put a drone over it, and it was on the route that we were going to take, that nobody ever takes. And I'm like, how? And they didn't like schooling and free thought and things like that. So obviously, it was somebody trying to, I don't know, maybe kill that dude. But it was just kind of surreal because that was the first time we got hit, and this was on a, it wasn't classified TS or anything like that, but it was, I mean, nobody knew about that route. We didn't know about that route until day of,
yeah.
and then nobody uses it. And then they had I think they said it was like a 900-pound deep buried on that road,
Damn, would have
and
ended
I'm like,
y'all.
yeah, and they killed like, I think they killed like 3 or 4 people that were in a couple different cars. They were just civilians,
Yeah,
but so
bunch of gangsters over there, dude, just doing stupid shit, man.
I mean, like I didn't like it, but at the same time, if it happened, like if we were in their position over here, absolutely, I'd be a little hood rat like a motherfucker, dude.
Yeah, And that's what I try telling people too. Like, dude, if you have some other country invading you, like you're gonna be probably the
You're
same
gonna
way.
be pissed. Like, yeah.
Yeah. So, so how long was your contract?
Mhm.
Your first
Oh,
how long was your first contract?
I only did 3 years.
Okay, so you basically did like your basic training, your
Yeah.
AIT, your deployment, and you're like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah.
And were you kind of content with like getting out, or did you feel like you're
Not
missing
really.
something, or no?
Yeah, like once I made the decision, I made the decision based on a lot of the stupid shit that was going on in country, and I shouldn't have. But it was just I could see the policy changes where it was going to go to the type of military we were going to try to be,
Yeah.
and I didn't really want to be part of that, and so I got out. But it wasn't long after that that I started wondering if I should reenlist.
Did you do any of that contracting stuff or no?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay.
that was years later, but yeah.
Yeah. So how was the time frame between like the army and then the
Mm.
contracting stuff? How
I mean,
was that with you?
it wasn't bad. Like it was like 3 years or so, and then I started looking into it, and I didn't do a lot. I mean, I didn't do very long, but like the thing that got me out of it was I had a very young daughter, and I mean, she was like little, and I was leaving to go to Moyoc, and she just started like bawling, right?
Yeah.
And she's like less than a year old, I think. So she starts bawling, and I'm like watching in the rear view like a movie or something. And I see her crying because they're standing out there standby, and I was like, "Fuck, man, like
Yeah.
that sucks." And then DynCorp had 4 dudes killed on the way home to Cat when they were on the way to Calf. They got blown up, and all 4 of them were killed. They were going on leave, and that was like I still went to Moyoc to do my stuff, but like at the same time, I was like, maybe this isn't for me right now, because I got young kids, and I don't really want to eat it right now. So
Yeah. Was that your only time? Your only rotation as a contractor?
yeah, yeah, and it
It's
it
still
was
pretty
it was
cool that you did it.
it was cool, and like I've thought about doing it again because my kids are teenagers now, and you know, me and her are separating and all this other stuff. So like, I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, I might as well make some money and enjoy something I do.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm old now, and it's been a while. So the only thing that actually got me in was because of my PSD stuff in the
Yeah.
army. So, but it's been so long now, I don't know if I'll even take it. So
Yeah. That I mean, like I said, everybody's seen freaking 13 hours, and they're like, that's what that like. That was a unique situation.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, very, very
but
unique.
but contracting, I've heard about everybody's heard about Blackwater. Everybody's heard
Yeah.
about what are they called, like Z or some shit.
Yeah, well, now it's Constellus, and it's
Yeah.
a conglomerate of them, Triple Canopy, and SOG, and a couple other ones.
Yeah. So what was it? Was the driving force of you becoming contracting was the money, or was it because like you felt like you were missing out, like you were FOMO, or no?
It was both, like like because I had actually toyed with the idea of reenlisting, and I think in 2011, the Army had sent me. It was actually Army Reserves sent me a letter asking if I wanted to go to WLC and then go to drill sergeant school. And I had seriously considered doing that. I never wanted to be a drill sergeant or anything, but it kind of gets you in the same, gets your toes back in, gets you a little bit of rank, gets you back in shape.
Yeah.
And so I was going between that and actually joining up with the Air Force to try to go do CCTs and do the air traffic control, combat air traffic controller stuff. And I was actually on board about to do that, and then I realized how much water they do, and I'm not a water guy, so I would have died. So, uh, so
Yeah.
But I ended up not doing any of it. And then looking into the contract thing, my uncle actually got me a tryout at Dying Corp, and I ended up not passing the run on that one because I don't run.
Yeah.
And so then I went to Moyoc later and did okay with that one. And that was a surreal experience too, because you're in this room and they're doing their briefing for the training course and all that shit. And I'm looking around the room, and all these dudes are group SF, or I'm sorry, group CAG, Raiders, uh, some of CIA guys, and I'm sitting there like I am fucking out of place. Like I I'm looking around, and these dudes are like the shit, and I'm like I don't feel comfortable here, and so like I actually the I failed my run the first day because you remember those barefoot shoes, the 5 finger shoes or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dumbass was like, oh, I'm gonna wear these on my run because they're better for you and everything, and I've never used them. And yeah, don't do that. They're actually terrible to run in if you haven't been training in them. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Your calves and your shins are gonna be hurting, dude.
dude, it sucked. So I'm like, all right, they're gonna let me retry it or whatever. And so I'm sitting there in the thing, and they were talking about our run times and everything, and I was like, man, I was just talking to the guy in front of me. I was like, dude, I fucking bombed it. Like, I'm not a runner. Like bench press, I was good. Push ups, I was good. Everything else, I was fine, right? And then the run was it, and he was like, well, do you need some shoes, man? Like, I'll go buy you some shoes. And I was just like, holy shit, like this dude doesn't know me from anybody, and he was a Raider, and so like he knows I'm Army, and he's still just like, man, I'll go buy you some shoes right now if it means you're gonna come. Everybody just wants everybody to be there, and it was cool as shit. But um, the most surreal experience was when we got in there and they're giving their briefing or whatever. This little skinny dude that works there, and he's probably a badass. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like this little nerdy looking skinny dude who's one of the instructors. He was like, all right, so a couple rules. Don't have your firearm loaded while you're on campus unless we're at the range. There are black bears here, so if you see one, don't piss it off like that. And then he was like, no fighting. There's no fighting. Everybody here is a cool guy. And I'm sitting there thinking, nah, not everybody is, motherfucker. Like, I am not a cool guy. Please, but that doesn't I don't want to fight anybody here, but, I will, but don't. Um, so it was just kind of cool to be in that whole group of people, and everybody was awesome. And those guys are still over there doing stuff. And, it was a good group of people.
Man, that's not. I kind of wanted to do it, but I never knew how to get into it, and obviously, I'm not a cool guy either. So
Send your resume and pump it up, man. Like, don't lie, but you know, the only thing that got me in being outside of SOCOM. Now it may be different. I don't know, but when I did it, if you weren't SOCOM, like you're probably not getting in.
yeah,
And the only thing that got me in was the fact that our platoon was divided into 3 different PSD sections. Together, we had 3,000 some missions for that 15-month deployment
yeah,
of straight PSD. That's not counting anything else. So my section had the most out of any of the other sections, and it was totaled around like 1,512 that was documented. So like I put on there, over 1,500 missions or PSD missions ran in Iraq during this time, company reference, blah blah blah, unit reference, and so they called the unit and verified all that, and they were like, okay, yeah, like that's because I actually went through the DSS course for PSD stuff. So a lot of the same stuff that they did in contracting, training wise, I got to do before we
yeah.
left for NTC.
That's pretty cool, man. Like I'd never met anybody that has done contracting, so hey, it's cool that you got to do it.
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
it's a cool part of your life.
and what's neat about it is, so I ended up bombing at another training. I ended up bombing the run again because I had lifted weights heavy for about a year and did absolutely no cardio. I'm like, that mile and a half run ain't shit, right?
Yeah,
And then I get there and it was absolutely shit. and so and that was another kind of surreal experience because they're driving me back to the hotel because they're like, all right, man, you failed. Like right now, we're not doing redos. We've got so many people. If you're out, you're out. So I was like, okay, cool. So they're driving me back to the hotel, and they've got a driver and then a passenger, and then I'm in the back, or the middle seat of this SUV. And the dude in the passenger seat is turned towards me the entire ride, and he's got a loaded firearm. And I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, that's cool as shit, man, that you think I'm enough of a threat that you need to ride like that, because that's all it was for, was if you
Yeah.
decided to lose your shit and the caliber of people that they deal with. I was like, hell yeah, maybe I am one of the cool guys for right this second. Like obviously I'm not for those cool guys, but you think I am, so it's all right.
Yeah. Where's like the training at?
So the training's for that company is at Moyock, North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's cool.
it's towards the coast, and
Yeah.
there is a lot of black bears.
How many years did you try doing this stuff?
Probably about two altogether. It was spaced out because I didn't. I continue to tell people this. Like I'll figure out what I want to do when I grow up. And so I would jump between that and then trying to be home, um, for my mainly for my kids. Like
Yeah.
I had a kid when I first got out, and his mother and me didn't work out, so I didn't get to see him that much. And then I had a kid with my ex-wife now, and so I wanted to be there. And obviously with my dad not being there, I was like, oh, I'm going to be there. So
Yeah.
it was spaced out over a few years, but altogether probably 2 years.
And when did what was your like your career of choice after the contracting thing didn't work out anymore?
So I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew I had a GI Bill, and I was like, man, I don't want to deploy right now. I don't want to do the contract thing, and that's really all my skill set allows for. And so one day, I can't remember what I was doing, but I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna try to be a cop. And so I enrolled in basic law enforcement training, and then it it was cool during that. And then
Oh,
they did a canine demo one day, and I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do. Absolutely, that's what I want
yeah.
to do.
Yeah.
Um,
You mentioned like you just stopped law enforcement, right?
yeah,
How many years did you do it?
9.
Damn, that's a long time, dude.
Yep.
That's a very, very long time. And do you as a like man to man, are you like kind of like, hey, you feeling something inside of you that's like, hey, I need to do something still? Like you're trying to fill a void or something, you know?
Yeah, so like my job now, I enjoy it to a certain degree,
Yeah.
but it doesn't matter to me. You know what I mean? Like it's nothing that's productive to me. Like I liked the cop thing because I got to actually, well, when I was allowed to, I actually got to go after bad people, which is the same thing I did in the military, you
Yeah.
know. And then now I'm in something completely different, and it it still gets me around the military, but it's to me it's like anybody can do this. And
Yeah.
so yeah, there's still days where I'm like, well, like I said, I've been looking back in the contract and stuff and seeing if they'll take me, and deciding if I would actually want to do that or not, and or continue my career towards a corporate level, and see what that's all about. Like I said, I'll figure out what I want to do when I grow up.
Yeah. I mean, you have a very it's unique, and then at the same time, like what is going on with our generation type thing. It's kind
Mhm.
of like most of us went to the war thing, and we're trying to constantly chase like a high, and
Yeah,
it's like it's never freaking ending unless I'm not saying it has an end for you or you don't
yeah,
want it to end, but like for myself, I feel exactly how you feel because my goal in life was to be a Green Beret too, but I had a kid, and I
Mm.
was like, and then I was like, me and her mother divorced, and then it was just like, well, I can't be gone all the time. I didn't have my mother growing up, so
Yeah.
um, but like I always regret not going and trying, and but at the same time now, it took me years to finally be happy with it,
Yeah.
like because like I found what my purpose was and was to be a good dad,
Hmm.
and I married a wonderful woman, and it's just like it's. But I know how you feel because it's literally what we're meant to do some stuff like that, and it's
Hmm.
like our world nowadays doesn't
Accept that
fit
at all.
accept it, and it doesn't fit nothing. Like me, like
Yeah.
I'm not talking trash about cops or anything, but like how like you're going from like infantry to a police world, like it's way different, tempo's different. You know
Yeah.
what I
Oh, yeah.
mean? And
So I will say though, after experiencing my short time in the military, the law enforcement thing takes way more toll on you.
yeah, I
It
can
it,
imagine.
it really does. And I again, I kind of liked it. The suck of it. Like
Yeah,
it's that good workout feeling. But yeah. Anyway, yeah. I was just
yeah. It's mentally draining too, probably, man, because you got people that hate you guys too. Like,
oh yeah, yeah.
eh,
So
like I
I
won't lie to you, man. There's times I'm like, man, these damn cops. You know what I mean? But
oh
like,
yeah.
it's just like it, and I can imagine, like, dude, it's like mandatory overtime, right? Because you have to stay on the
Mm.
call, you have to do stuff like that. You probably actually have less time with your family
Oh
because
yeah,
you're working so much, and the time you're not working, you're sleeping.
yeah. So yeah, I mean the I started my career at a university police department, and it was a very probably the largest historically black college university in the United States. I
Yeah.
am obviously a white kind of country dude sometimes,
Nah.
and so this was during this was right after Mike Brown and all that. So like I'm coming into law enforcement around that time, and
It's good.
I ended up being a canine handler at this university police department,
Yeah.
and it was a dual purpose dog. So he was a bite dog, like he was, and we had a mutual aid with the city that we were at. So I networked as much as I could and got friends with them. So from 4 to 6 in the morning, I was the only dog on in the city. So any shooting, any robbery, anything like that, I'm going there. So like the students would be out somewhere in town, and they would see my vehicle come through, and they're like posting on Twitter, like, what the fuck is ANTPD doing? And all this other stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I'm out
Yeah.
here trying to catch a fucking murderer. Like, it is what it is. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was cool, man. But I always tried to dialogue with the students too, because um, I did grow up around gangs and stuff. So like, I see a lot of youth that go down that route, and I try to open a dialogue about anytime there was a big shooting or something on the
Yeah.
news, and try to calm that down. I did start a protest one time by arresting somebody, but it's fine. I was Twitter famous within about 12 minutes. So
That's cool, man.
yeah,
How would you since we're coming up on the end of this, like men in your situation, man, like what would you tell them? Like, hey, yeah, like like I met you through social media, and it's
mm,
like if you're on social media, they're glorifying the Green Berets, they're glorifying
no,
the Steels, they're glorifying all this stuff, and like most men are stuck in a cubicle doing Excel shit, and
yeah,
they're not becoming a cop, they're not becoming a SWAT officer, but like, what would you tell them, like those dudes that are having the emptiness and the loneliness and stuff like that,
bro, accept it. And I'm not saying chase after it, but find something that fills your time. Like I've been, especially like right now, like I said, I'm going through separation and stuff, and like I have nothing but time other than when I'm at work to think about everything.
Yeah.
And I had somebody tell me, because I told them that, my job doesn't really matter now, and that's weird for me. Like I want to matter, and they were like, "Well, it does matter because there's right now I'm a supervisor at my job, and they're like, right now there's people relying on you to delegate what the work is to get this work done for their livelihood so they can feed their kids. And you know, that does matter. It doesn't matter in the sense that you're saving somebody's life right then, or you're smoking a bad guy that needs to be taken out. But everything can matter. It just depends on how you look at it and find what matters in what you do. Because if
Yeah.
not, you're gonna always chase that purpose, and then you're gonna make bad decisions, and or you're gonna go down the dark hole.
Yeah. And honestly, too, this is a common theme on my podcast is like talking to other people,
Yes.
especially like dude, I didn't know you at all,
Yeah.
and I hit you up, and then like we were texting on Facebook, and it's just like I'm honestly that's what I'm trying to build is more of a community for
Yeah.
guys like us, and it's hard because the world is weird right now. The military is not the
Yeah.
same. The military is not the same. Like I can imagine law enforcement side, like how it is, and it's just like we all just need to kind of like people that have the like
Mhm.
situations. They kind of just need to come together
Yeah.
because if not, like you said, it's a lonely spot to be at.
Yeah. There is nothing you can do but talk about it. Like what happened with us when we were in is over. Like it is what it is, man. Like,
Yeah,
but you can talk about it. You can find similarities in stories. You can find out support for shit like that. So
yeah,
that's the biggest thing is just talk about it, man. Because
yeah,
I've had too many friends that go down that dark road,
yeah,
and it sucks for their families, sucks for me, sucks for friends, and everybody's been down it, but you got to find your way out and just find what matters.
yeah. 100%, dude. Well, Mike, I really appreciate this conversation, man,
Yeah,
and
man.
I hope we continue to stay friends. And
Absolutely, bro.
thank you so much for watching this episode. Once again, please subscribe, share this content. If you have anybody that you wish to get onto the show, please send them my way. And with that, catch you on the next episode.